Hello everyone, welcome back. So we are going to start a new topic today. So last class we have talked of lifespan, then we have seen the types of reproduction, that is asexual and sexual reproduction, right? So in this video lecture we'll be talking about the types of asexual reproduction in details. All right. So before going to the types of asexual reproduction and all, I want you to take your pen and copy and note it down. All right. So we'll be talking about the types of asexual reproduction in details. So note it down. Types of asexual reproduction. So last class we have seen the differences between asexual and sexual, right? And we have known the definition of asexual reproduction. So in this class we will talk of the types of asexual reproduction in details. So first we will talk about the types of asexual reproduction in case of animals. Okay, so asexual reproduction in case of animal are found in lower living organism. Okay, it is not found in case of higher animals, it is found in case of microorganism. All right, so first we will be talking about in case of animal, the types. Okay, in case of animal. Okay, the first types of asexual reproduction in case of animals are known as fission. Fission. It is not fusion, it is fission. All right. Fission basically means splitting of organism. All right, splitting of cells. Okay, now splitting of cells can be two types: binary fission and multiple fission. Okay, so there are two types of fusion. Number one, binary fission. The first type of fission are called as binary fission. Binary means, here the word suggests its meaning, right? Bi, two. What happens in case of binary fission? One parent cell divides into two daughter cells. All right, one parent cell divides into two daughter cells. Such process are called as binary fission. So write it down, the definition. What is binary fission? In case of binary fission, one parent cell divides into two daughter cell. Such process are known as binary fission. So what we need to remember is, we need to remember the examples. Examples are important. I'll give you one very important example. The organism which show binary fissions are known as amoeba. The very common example of binary fission are shown by amoeba. It's a micro living organism, amoeba. So amoeba shows binary fission. That means one parent cell divides into two daughter cells. Okay. Now one very important term you need to know about amoeba is known as, those organisms which shows binary fissions are considered as immortal. All right, very important. Why it is known as immortal? I'll tell you. So first you write it down. Those organisms which shows binary fission, that is amoeba, are known as immortal organism. Okay, they are called as immortal. Okay, they are called as immortal. Okay, so sometimes the question asks for 1 mark. Which organism are known as immortal organism. So which organism? Amoeba. Okay, remember. So why they are known as immortal? See, what is this definition? The one parent cell divides into two daughter cells. Okay, so amoeba, let me draw a rough diagram of amoeba cell. There is a cell and there is a nucleus. So this cell divides into two daughter cells. Okay, this cell divides into two daughter cells. Now again, these two daughter cells, when they grow in size, when they become mature, when these two cells become mature, they again give rise into two cells. It divides into again two cells, and so on. So that's why those organisms are called as immortal. Why? Because from one cell it gives rise into many organisms, living organisms. Okay, that is from one cell it gives rise into two cells. Now these two cells give rise again into two cells. Again those cells will give rise to again those two cells, and so on. The process goes on. That's why those organisms are called as immortal, because there is no any natural death. Okay. So remember, for 1 mark, this is very important. Example are always asked. Which organism are known as immortal organism? Example, amoeba. Okay, and amoeba show binary fission. You don't have to forget this, because it is very easy. Just remember the words. Binary. Binary means two. Okay, the one cell splits into two cells. That is binary fission. So these are the first type of fission. Okay, now next type. Okay, I hope you all understood. So note it down, all those. Okay, so next type, these are the first type of fission. The other type of fission are known as multiple fission. Multiple fission. Again, the name suggests its meaning. Right? Multiple. Fission means what? Splitting of cell. Okay? Splitting of cell. That is fission. Multiple, many. Right? In case of binary, two, bi. Here is multiple. It means many. One cell, it divides into many cells and gives rise to the organism. That's it. Very easy to remember. So fission are of two types, binary fission and multiple fission. So binary fission, we have known now. The multiple fission. In this case, what happened? One, you can write your own if you understood. One parent cell divides. One parent cell divides to form many cells. Okay. Here, in case of multiple fission, one parent cell divides into many cells and gives rise to organism. Okay, example are important. I'll give you one example. If you want more, go through yourself. Okay, follow NCERT book. Once you complete NCERT book, then only you go another book. Okay, multiple fission. Which organisms show multiple fission? The organisms which show multiple fission are Plasmodium species. Plasmodium, malarial parasite Plasmodium. Such organisms shows multiple fission. That means in such organism, one cell gives rise into many cells. Okay, and develop an organism. So Plasmodium, malarial parasite that causes malaria. Right? Plasmodium species. There are 5 types of Plasmodium species. First, there animal kingdom. So Plasmodium shows multiple fission. Okay. One thing, let me tell you. Let me ask you one question. Which living organism, which organism causes malaria into our body? You might have known that mosquito causes malaria. That is actually not true. Mosquito actually brings malaria into our body. Okay, actually Plasmodium causes malaria. Mosquito, it carries Plasmodium inside their body. Once they inject into our body, into our cell, into our RBC, the Plasmodium breaks down all the RBC into our body and causes malaria. Okay, actually mosquito is an agent. They are the vector that brings Plasmodium, which causes malaria into our body. Okay, remember. So Plasmodium, let me show you a quick diagram. Suppose this is the cell of Plasmodium and there is a nucleus inside the cell. In case of multiple fission, the nucleus divides into many inside the cytoplasm. The nucleus divides into many nuclei inside the cytoplasm. Okay. Once all those nuclei become mature and grow to its size and able to survive outside the environmental condition, this cell ruptures and then all those nuclei will come out from the cytoplasm. So once all those nuclei grows to its normal size, become mature, these cells rupture and they comes out from the cell and give rise to new individuals. So these are multiple fission. Okay, so once they become mature and able to survive outside the environmental condition, the cell ruptures and all those nuclei will come out from the cell and give rise to new individual, that is Plasmodium. Okay, so examples are important. So which organism shows multiple fission? That is Plasmodium species. Okay, there are 5 types of Plasmodium species. First year, animal kingdom, Plasmodium species. Okay, these are the types of fission. So fission are of 2 types, binary fission and multiple fission. So binary means one parent cell divides into 2 daughter cell. Example amoeba, and they are known as immortal. Why? We have discussed. The next type is multiple fission. What happens in case of multiple fission? One parent cell divides into many daughter cell. Okay, you can add daughter cell. Okay, you can add daughter, the word daughter cell. So one parent cell divides into many daughter cell and give rise to a new individual. Example, Plasmodium. So these are the types of fission. So first type of asexual reproduction, that is fission. The next type of asexual reproduction we can talk of budding. Okay, in this chapter we will talk about only the basic things of reproduction. Okay, and the next chapter we will talk in details about the process and about the process of sexual reproduction. Okay, so next type of asexual reproduction is budding. Now what is budding? Again, there's a bud word here. A small bud develop either inside or outside the body of the living organism and give rise to new individual. Okay, small bud are around a ball-like structure, a tiny ball-like structure. We call it bud. Okay, it is developed either on the outer side or inner side of the body, depending on the organism. All right. So budding are of 2 types. You can write a definition. A small bud develops on the outer side or the inner side of the body. It's known as budding. So budding are of 2 types. Exogenous budding and endogenous budding. Okay, exogenous and endogenous budding. Now what is exo and endo words? Exo means what? Outside, right? Endo means inside. So again, in biology, I have said it many times, just try to see the word, use your common sense, you will understand by yourself. Word tells its meaning, just use your common sense. Exo means what? Outside. That means the bud will develop outside the body and give rise to new individual. In case of endogenous, the bud is going to develop on the inner side of the body and give rise to new individual, that is endogenous. Okay, write it down, the definition. Bud develops on the outer side of the body. Okay, bud develops on the outer side of the body. While in case of endogenous, write it by yourself, the bud develops on the inner side of their body, okay, and give rise to new individual, that is exo and endogenous budding. Example are important, you need to know is example. Example of exogenous budding, I'll first go with exogenous. So example of exogenous budding, one very common example we can take, yeast. You have seen the structure of yeast, okay, in practical. Yeast, small round like structure, tiny round like structure, yeast. What is the scientific name of yeast? So yeast, let me show you a rough diagram. So in case of yeast, okay, let me show you the structure. See, drawing is not important, but for you to understand, okay, in exam you don't have to draw, just write it down. Just for drawing, I'll just make you to understand, it will make easy for you to understand. Okay, so let me show you a rough diagram. So yeast, in case of yeast, what happened, the bud developed on the outer side, which is attached partially on the outer side of the body, small bud like this, that attach partially on the outer part of their body surface. These are bud, okay. Once this bud, they grow in size again, they become mature, and they are able to survive. When they are able to survive outside the environmental condition, they detach from each body on the outside environment and give rise to new yeast again. Okay, so these are budding, exogenous budding. Okay, these are bud. When they become mature, become big and able to survive outside the environmental condition, they rupture from this surface of the body and give rise to new individuals, that is yeast. Okay, that's it. This budding are shown by yeast, that is exogenous budding. Why exogenous? Because the bud is developed on the outer surface of the body. That's it. Okay, that is yeast. Okay, examples are important. Example, which organism shows exogenous budding, which organism shows endogenous budding. So examples are very important, you need to remember is example. Okay, definition, you don't have to memorize it, just look at the words, you will understand. Okay, you can write by yourself. Now, okay, these are the example of exogenous budding. One again example we can take, in case of, I'm writing that side, in case of exogenous budding, we can take another example, Hydra. Okay, in case of Hydra, so you have seen the structure of a Hydra, practical class first year. So there is a tentacles present, and on the outer side of the body, a small tiny bud develop. Okay, this bud are attached partially, and when they become mature and when they grow to its size, once they are completely mature, this bud, they detach from the body surface of the Hydra and give rise to new individual. Okay, that's it. This is the process of exogenous budding. Exogenous means the bud that is developed on the outer side of their body. Example, yeast, Hydra. So remember, examples are important. You are not allowed to forget example. So these are all about exogenous budding. Come to next, that is endogenous budding. What happened in case of endogenous budding? Buds develop on the inner side of their body. Okay, you can write yourself. The bud develops on the inner side of their body. That is endogenous budding. Endo, inside, right? So that's it. Example, I'll give you one example, a very common example, spongilla. Spongilla, very important. Spongilla, one very important features of spongilla you need to remember. They are the only fresh water sponge. So I don't know if you remember or not. Spongilla comes under which phylum? First tier, animal kingdom. Spongilla. Okay, they are only freshwater sponge. They comes under the phylum of Porifera. Those organisms has a pore in their body. They are pore bearing animal. Okay, that's why Porifera. They comes under the phylum Porifera. Okay, they are the pore bearing animals. Okay, they have pores in their body. Spongilla. So the example of endogenous budding, one very important example is spongilla. And spongilla, they are the only freshwater sponge. Okay, so let me show you a rough diagram of spongilla. So they are pore bearing animal. Their body contains pore, and body are attached to the substratum. They have the opening, and inside the body they have a cover layer. Okay, on those layer is the buds, small buds are attached. Small tiny buds are attached partially. Now, those buds are known as gemmules. Okay, gemmules or gemmules, whatever you pronounce. So those buds are known as gemmule. Okay, again, same thing. What happened when these buds become mature? They grow to its size. Once they completely become mature and able to survive outside the environmental condition, they comes out from their body and give rise to new individual, that is spongilla. Okay, what you need to remember, the bud which is developed by spongilla is known as gemmules. Okay, so from entrance point of view, sometimes the question asks for 1 mark. So the bud which is developed by spongilla, the bud is known as gemmules, and those buds are endogenous bud. Why endogenous? Because it develops on the inner side of their body. Okay, so these are the types of budding. Okay, very easy. So you need to remember budding, exogenous, endogenous, example along with the example. Okay, so note it down. So next type of asexual reproduction. I'll go to the next type of sexual reproduction. Okay, we can take next type of asexual reproduction, that is by spore formation or sporulation. Okay, by spore formation, by spore formation. In such case, what happened? The organism form spores in their body and give rise to new individual. Okay, that is by spore formation. Now, spore formation, we can take the example. Okay, so there are types of spore formation. The first type of spore formation we can take zoospores. Zoospore. The first types of spore formations are called as zoospores. Zoospore. Okay, so which organism shows zoospore spore formation? Example, Chlamydomonas. What is Chlamydomonas? Which group of algae? They comes under which group of algae? Tell me. Green, red, brown, black, white. There are 3 types of algae, right? There are 3 groups of algae. So green, brown or red? Tell me. So Chlamydomonas. So which organism shows zoospore spore formation? Chlamydomonas. So we need to write a few characters of it. Okay, those spores are motile. They are motile spores. Motile means they can swim on the surface of the water body. Okay, they are motile. They can swim. Motile. Next important feature you need to know is they are biflagellate spores. They are biflagellate spores. What is flagella? What is flagella? Okay, thread-like structure which help in the movement of their body. In case of bacteria, we have seen flagella, right? By 2 So their body contain 2 flagella. So zoospore, these are zoospore formation. Which organisms show zoospore? Chlamydomonas, a group of green algae, chlorophyceae algae, Chlamydomonas. So those spores are motile spores and they contain biflagella. So let me show you a rough diagram how it looks like the spores. So the body are oval shape and they have flagella. Okay, let me make it nice diagram. Let me try to make it clean. Okay, that's how it looks like. So the spores look like this. Okay, so they are motile and they are biflagellate spores known as zoospores. Which organisms of zoospore formation? Chlamydomonas. That's it. That's it. Examples are important. Now next type of spore formation we can take conidia. Conidia. Now example, which organism shows conidia spore formation? Example, penicillium. Penicillium shows conidia spore formation. Penicillium fungi, right? So 2 important features. Conidia spores they are non-motile. Okay, they are non-motile. Spore, non-motile means they cannot swim. Okay, they cannot move. Next important feature, they are branch spores. Okay, their structure are branch structure. They remain in chain structure. Okay, if I draw structure, drawing is just for you to understand. In exam you don't have to draw. So their spores, the body are arranged in a branch like structure. The topmost part of the spores, they detach from their body and give rise to new individual. Those spores are known as conidia. Okay, conidiospores. It detach from their body and give rise to new individual, that is penicillium. So those spores are shown by penicillium, that is conidiospores. Okay, that is conidia. So these are by spore formation. So there I give you 2 types of spore formation, zoospore, though there are few more, but 2 are enough at this stage. Zoospores and conidia. Zoospores are shown by Chlamydomonas green algae. They are motile spore and they are biflagellate. Okay. Next is conidia, shown by penicillium. They are non-motile and they remain in branch structure. So that's it. These are by spore formation. Okay. I hope you understood. So note it down. Okay, I want you to note it down, all those notes in your copy, botany copy. Okay, once the classes gets open, I will check your copy. Okay, make sure that you write all those notes in your copy. So there we have discussed the 3 types of asexual reproduction. The first one is what? Fission. The second one is budding, and third one spore formation. The next type we can discuss. The next type we can take by fragmentation. By fragmentation. What is fragment? Small pieces, right? Small piece. Fragment. Small piece of any, body. Okay. So what happens in case of fragmentation? Cells breaks into small pieces. Okay. One cell breaks into small pieces and give rise to new individual. That is fragmentation. Okay. What is fragmentation? Here, cell breaks into small fragment. Let me write fragments. Fragment means pieces, okay? The cell breaks into small fragment and give rise to new individuals. Okay, so which organisms show fragmentation? Example, Spirogyra. What is Spirogyra again? What is Spirogyra? Which group of algae? Green, red, or brown? Okay, tell yourself. Answer yourself. Spirogyra. They are also known as pond silk algae. Remember? Okay. So, in case of Spirogyra, the cell breaks into small pieces and give rise to new individuals. Okay, give rise to new individual. That is Spirogyra. Let me show you a quick diagram. The structure of Spirogyra looks somewhat like this. The body is elongated, a long structure. They have a nucleus inside the cell. Now, what happened in case of Spirogyra? This cell breaks into small pieces. They breaks into small pieces. The cell breaks into small pieces and give rise to, all those cells give rise to again new Spirogyra. That's it. Simple way to understand fragmentation. Okay, there is a process. Okay, we don't have to go in details at this stage. Not required. But when you go to higher study, if you take botany, then you have to discuss the overall process of the fragmentation in case of Spirogyra in detail. But at this stage, just know the basic things. Okay, fragmentation. Example, Spirogyra. What happened? The cell breaks into small pieces and give rise to new individual. That's it, Spirogyra. Alright, so these are the types of asexual reproduction in case of animal. Okay, so we have discussed the 4 types of asexual reproduction in case of animal. So next we will discuss the type of asexual reproduction in case of plants. Alright.